Hi, my name's Mel Colley. Welcome back to Pilates for today. Okay, because we're going to start in a seated position. So if you could sit cross-legged, which is fine. If not, don't worry, just be in a position where your feet are out in front and your knees are in line with your hips. But ideally, we're trying not to sit back on our sacrum, so you kind of get on your sit bones. So I tend to sit a little bit like that, so I need a little towel underneath the back of the pelvis to help me sit so the pelvis tilts up into a neutral position. Put away the fleshy part of your glutes and you feel where your tailbone is, you feel as if you've got a little bit of a gap underneath the tailbone, so the tailbone isn't actually touching the floor. Let your hands just rest on your thighs, and if your feet are out here, your hands can just rest on your thighs here, and then just draw the elbows back and broaden the collarbone. So allow the sternum to float towards the ceiling, but allow the ribs to knit together. So we're not completely arching the back, but we're lengthening also through the crown of the head, as if you're being pulled up towards the ceiling, as if you've got a beam of light through the head, shining on the ceiling. The roots are growing out of your sit bones, taking you down into the ground. And you get this sense of length in the spine, almost as if you're trying to create a little space of air between each vertebrae. And we're going to bring the hands into a prayer position, so the thumbs are on your sternum and the nose is in line with your fingertips. So gently press the sternum into your thumbs and keep the nose in line, and as you breathe in, we're going to turn to one side. And as you exhale, you're going to come back to centre. And then you're going to go to the other side as you breathe in. And exhale as you come back. Going back to the other side. So as you turn, the head's not going any further. So allowing that nose to stay in line with the fingertips. We're allowing the sit bones to stay grounded, as if there's roots growing out of them into the floor. And we're allowing that beam of light to still shine onto the ceiling through the crown of the head. And also imagine you've got beams of lights coming out of the hip bones that are shining forward. And they stay shining forward throughout the move, so the pelvis stays still. And as you turn, you're just turning from the ribs. So as you turn to the left, you feel the right ribs come with you. And as you turn to the right, you feel the left ribs come around and come with you, which helps you turn a little bit further. It's almost like you're taking the lid off a jar. As the lid turns, the jar stays still. We're trying to move without the shoulders coming up by your ears, keeping the length of the neck. And we're going to come back to centre on that one, place the hands together and push up towards the ceiling and watch them go. And then push out to the side. Take one hand out of the floor, the other hand overhead, relax the elbows and let this side have a stretch. So pushing the tailbone down to the floor, but allowing the sit bones to drop into the floor as well. So as the hip and the sit bones drop down, the arm comes over, you get that stretch in the side. Coming back up, changing sides, lifting and reaching. Coming back up and again lifting and reaching over. A little bit further this time. And see if you can turn towards that thigh. Think about your breastbone, taking it down towards the thigh. You're not going to get very far, which is fine, but just imagine that you're reaching like a little magnet that's being taken down towards the knee. Now hold it here, but if you can turn further, let the hands rest and see if you can lengthen a little bit more. But this hip stays down, pushing down on that side as if someone's got hold of your pelvis and they're pushing it into the floor and you're lengthening in the opposite direction. Come back up, change sides, reach and come over. And then turn sternum to the thigh. Hold it here or turn a little bit further, let the hand go to the floor and lengthen through the chest. And again, this side stays down. Just imagine someone's got hold of your hip bone and they're pressing it, anchoring it into the floor. rolling back, coming back up, coming off the towel. Let's put that to one side for a moment. All the way round, come over into child's pose, so toes together, knees away, reach forward, and let the elbows stay active as if they're drawing towards each other, and the sit bones down towards the heels, and then breathe wide into the lower ribs. And as you breathe wide into the lower ribs, you'll also feel your breath going into your lower area of the back. Usually we get quite tight there, to allow your breath to massage your muscles. And if your forehead's touching the floor, let it relax and release. If it doesn't quite get there, you can use that towel to rest your head on. Two more breaths. And your hands start to come back to the knees, and then roll yourself up. Place the towel to one side. Bring the feet around in front of you. Take the hands out in front. So the feet and knees are going to be in line with your hip bones. Now take a deep breath in, lift the chest. Now as you breathe out, take the hips away from the thighs. Breathe in, hold here. Breathe out, come back up. Hips come back towards the thighs. And then you're going again, exhaling as you roll down. Dropping the shoulders, allowing the collarbone to stay free and open. Lifting the chest as you come back up. And we're going to go again. So the feet and the knees are going to stay in line with the hips, don't let them fall towards each other. The heels can stay down, the toes can lift if they need to. Now if you feel better with the legs straight, that's fine, you can have the legs straight. So we're all coming from the pelvis. Try not to drop the head, try not to lift the shoulders. So we're trying to stay exactly the same position with the upper body. Nothing really moves in the shoulders and the head. It's all coming from the lumbar spine, tucking under, and the spine then just following. So if you're going to go straight to the floor, your lumbar spine will touch first. Okay, let's do one more. Coming all the way back up, bring your feet in, lift one knee off the floor, roll back away from the leg. Coming back up, change legs, take a deep breath in, and exhale, rolling away from the leg. Try not to move the leg at all. Breathing in, come back, change legs, exhale, roll. Breathing in, come back, change legs, exhale, roll down. Breathing in, come back. Imagine you've got little coffee cups on top of your shins. Don't let them rattle as you go down. And when you come back up, they're really still. Don't spill anything. Change legs. Watch that head position. Okay, let's add a twist. Place the feet and the knees together. Now, if your knees tend to fall away from each other, you can use the towel to squeeze that, and that gets your inner thighs working a little bit more. So roll to one side and take the hand with you. The other hand stays there. Come back up and change sides. Roll, watch the hand go. Now go back as far as you can go by keeping your chest open. Don't collapse into the ribs. So there's nothing with the shoulders happening here, so keeping open with the chest, keeping the collarbone wide, keeping the opposite rib cage down towards the hip. Turning as you exhale, watching the hand go, breathing in, come back, hand stays there as if it's anchoring you to that knee. And then come back to centre, release the towel, come down towards the front of the mat, hold onto one knee, roll yourself down to your shoulders, bringing that knee in towards you, lengthen the other leg towards a high diagonal. Breathe in and switch legs, exhale and switch legs. Breathe in and switch legs, exhale and switch legs. Try and get off your shoulders. Now if you find that your neck is aching, come down to the floor with the head. And if you find you're looking behind you, you might need that towel behind your head, just to keep it in line with the spine. So the knee stays in line with your cheekbone, almost as if it's trying to touch your cheek. So we're going for about 8 to 10 on each side. Let's do this one more time. And then we're going to stay with the legs and we're going to add the upper body. So we're going to twist the shoulder to the knee and then we're going to come back to the other side. Now if you find this is a bit tricky, just stay with the upper body and keeping the feet still. And if you find that's a bit tricky, keep the feet on the floor and just use the upper body. Just take it back until you find your working order for today. Now if you're twisting, try and come off your shoulder blades. And again, we're just using the ribs, so the opposite hip stays down on the floor. So imagine somebody just pressing that hip down as you turn. So look towards your back elbow, so the head follows, leading from the sternum. Oh, it's hard to talk and do that at the same time. Last one on the other side. And release. Hands to the floor, knees to one side. Let it go. Change sides. Opening up the shoulder blades, keeping the shoulder blades flat on the floor. And twisting. Can you hear my floorboards creaking? It's not my bones. Sounds like my hips giving way. My floorboard's going, oh, what are you doing? Let's do one more on each side. If you can practically touch the floor, that's fine, just watch your shoulder stays down there. Now hold on underneath the knees and we take the towel away. Now let the head and shoulders float and start to rock. Roll yourself up, hold that balance, holding the hands underneath the knees, roll yourself back and come back up. Hold that balance, roll yourself back and come back up. Now keep looking towards your knees, so as you roll back the head isn't going back. Think about using each part of your spine in the mat. So if you were rolling in the sand on the beach, you'll see an imprint of all of your spine as you moved. Okay, let's do one more. And hold it steady. Now see if you can pick up your feet and see if you can release your hands. Lifting the chest into this V position, half a V position, like a V-sit. So we're going into what's called a Pilates teaser. Let's see if we can lengthen the legs away and come back in. And again, lengthen away. Now pull your hip bones towards each other from the inside to help really stabilise the pelvis. Keeping the chest lifted so you're not rounding into the spine. I'm going for one more. Hold. Hug them in and release them down. Take the legs away and roll yourself down to the floor. And when you get there, pick up one leg, pick up the other, turn the feet out into a V position so the knees are together, drop them down away from you, keeping the back on the floor, lifting back up, and again drop. Exhale, and inhale, lift, and drop, and lift, and drop, and lift, and drop. Keep these legs towards each other. If you want to make it a bit trickier, head and shoulders can lift, then you can see what your abdominals are doing, that they're not pooching out. So about 5 to 10 reps. One more I'm going for. And then release. Just rock from side to side. And then drop the knees to one side, take yourself over and push yourself up. Come back into that seated position. I'm going to use my towel again. Pressing hands back on your thighs, draw your elbows in and lift the chest. So you're back where you started, grounding the sit bones, lengthening through, shining that light through the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Breathing wide and deep. Trying to keep the breath away from the chest. So the first 2/3 of the breath should be coming from the lower ribs, the belly, and then the last part coming from the chest. Quieten your mind and just allow yourself to focus on your breathing. breath to become slower. And then slowly bring the hands towards the chest. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining me today. Take care. See you next time.